Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where today we're taking a look at officers, as we love to do here on this channel, going between max mitigation and maximum damage, and what should you really focus on in a fight, what you should try to deploy officer-wise, and how that can really impact your gameplay. We love to increase your game acumen, and hopefully that makes you better on the field of battle, which there's no field of battle right here. It's just kind of me on the screen. But before we get started, a couple things. Number one, like this video. Looks like this. Smash that button. It helps out the channel and is greatly appreciated. And hit that subscribe button if you have not already to get notified of every time we're going live and every time I have a new video about awesome things. Next thing up is, hey, we are trying to grow this channel, and for me to get better, yes, the ginger can get better. Believe it or not, it can. I need your help, and if you'd like to volunteer, we have a volunteer section on our Discord where, yeah, you get access to cool special icons, cool special color, and also you need to help me out. So please, if you want to help me out, check it out. And finally, the trading card game we're designing, Conquest of Sword and Thread, is now moving into the line art phase. We're almost ready to start painting. We have the entire 2 starter decks, all the 2 of the first 2 starter decks done. In terms of, we've got all the designs ready, and those 2 will hopefully get printed in the next couple months. Soon you'll probably be seeing dedicated videos to the game, but if you're interested in it, please make sure you comment down below. I need your help, and I think it'll be really fun. And I'm in it, so it's awesome. Anyway, let's start talking in this video about the officers, why you're here. So this got spurned on by honestly a great screenshot and a great conversation from somebody who follows the channel, and they were showing off their Saladin that had this amazing 7.5 million critical. Huge hit going against a level 31 Armada. Fantastic, loved it. And of course they were running Riker full synergy. So they were going for as much cumulative damage growth as possible, which there's nothing wrong with that strategy. But the discussion that got brought up was, I think the full synergy Riker is better than your 6 of 10. And I was like, calm down and let me explain why. And there actually are some situations where I feel like going for maximum damage is preferable. And we'll talk about that in a second. But let's start with this screenshot and explain why I was trying to get across that, hey, going for maximum damage here probably isn't the best bet for you based on what you're fighting. And the reason being is I want you to take a look at the number right there, that 7.5 million. But look over to the right. And what we're looking for here is look at the amount of damage that was produced but was mitigated by the opposing Armada. So what you saw is, of that 7.5 million, which holy shnikes Batman is a lot, 4.17 was mitigated. So if we actually take and divide that 4.1 by the 7.5, what we'll find is that 55% of that damage was mitigated, about 56% actually. So well over half of that just did not even matter. So then the shot actually only became a 3.3 million shot to the hull. But let's talk about mitigation. And let's say that you had a 6 of 10. Preferably, if you've been listening to this show, you've really been trying to focus on leveling that up, using your transporter patterns on 6 of 10 to make your Armada fights even better. But because this is a level 31 outpost, the range of its defense is really not that high, which means we can overcome it with mitigation growth, and that's exactly what 6 of 10 does. Remember in the video we did about 6 of 10, and if you haven't seen it, we'll try to link it down in the comment section below, that he grows your mitigation cumulatively every round. So you're actually getting better continually, and then all your researchers are stacking on top of that, making you better. So if you've got a 15-20 round fight against a low-level Armada, it's not unheard of at all for you to take mitigation down to, say, 25%. Now, here's why that is important. Let's just say not even 25%. Let's just say 30. Let's just say that instead of 55% mitigation, 30% is being mitigated. So a 25% drop, which is not unreasonable at all for a level 31 Armada. Here's where that would have been better. If you had only shot a 5 million critical, so I'm taking 2.5 million away. I'm literally removing, 30% of your criticals. I'm taking it away. But if I would have had a 5 million shot with only 30% mitigated, I actually would have put 3.5 million to the hull, which is 200,000 more than you did with a 7.5 million shot. Once again, this is all based on your officers and what could be best for you. If you don't have a 6 of 10 that can grow your mitigation in 15-20 rounds to that point, well then don't do it. But if you do, then obviously we want to go with the way that gives you the most damage possible. And here, 6 of 10 would do that. But that's not always the universal truth. And I actually will talk about that and bring up some armadas for my example. Let's bring in a really big one. Let's go crazy. I'm going to show you a 42 rare armada. Now, this was given to me by, I told you we were having that conversation with Vulcan War General. Well, this was part of it. And I got him to screenshot because I didn't fly out to 15-minute flight times just to take a screenshot. But of a 42 million Romulan Citadel. Has a defensive set of 824,000 armor, 558,000 shield deflection, and 638,000 dodge. I'm just gonna be honest. Even with my ISS Jellyfish and my Enterprise, I could not create enough mitigation in a 25-round fight to overcome that, and I would be stuck hitting that 60% wall continually. It's just far too high without basically a max 6 of 10 to really overcome that for my ship, and it would take a long time to do that. I might even die before then because of the amount of damage those types of things can create. So I'm not even sure I could do it, to be quite frank. However, all that aside, that is a situation where you would want to use as much damage as possible because you can't overcome that high mitigation. Then we just need to punch as hard as we can. So I want that 7.5 million shot in that scenario. But let's look at something a little bit more close to home. And we're going to do that with some of the battle logs that I have. So let's look at this Romulan Citadel. Now this is me at level 39 with a tier 8 auger going against a level 39 Citadel, which is an epic. And this was a 66.6 million. And let's talk about what those damage numbers ended up doing for me. So if you actually click on your ship, you can hit the little I button here. So you'll see this is mine and this is the Armada. So here is the defensive numbers and here are the offensive numbers. So you see it has 662,000 armor, but much less shield deflection and dodge. We're already higher in terms of shield piercing. So when we talk about what 6 and 10 can do, we want to have a cumulative growth here where we see a big difference in terms of mitigation. And does that translate to more power on the field? And it should. So if you look at our 13-round fight here, let's look at round 1. Round 1, here's our shot. We're going to have 120,000 and then 65% is mitigated. So yeah, 65,000 is mitigated, not 64%. But anyway, that's going to actually be this right here. I already typed it up for you. 54.4% mitigation. Now, by round down below, so you see we went 13. Let's go see what round 10 are at. So round 10, let's go all the way down. Let's go to round 12. So the last round we're firing. So if we go down to round 12, we should find our weapon right here, 166,000. So before we were doing a decent 54% mitigation, nothing crazy. But let's do this one right here. So we are 54% here. Let's do 74608 divided by 166,159, 44.9. So I dropped it over 10%, right at 10% mitigation drop. Now, 10%, depending on what you're fighting, that translates to about 22% more actual damage being dealt. That's a pretty significant chunk of change. Let's look at a longer one. So if we back out, there's actually a rare that we had, this 38, that actually went longer because the stats of this thing are crazy. So even though it's a 34 million, if you look at the defensive numbers are way higher, which is really weird considering this is a rare and half the strength. But anyway, so let's look at here. You see the defensive numbers way higher. So mitigation is going to be harder to overcome, but also should lead to the battle lasting longer. So let's go to the battle log, and that's what you see, a 21 round log. Now here we go down here, scrolly, 113. That's going to be 71 mitigated. Yeah. So that's this one right here. So we're starting off at 62.29, basically 62.3% mitigation. That is awful. That is way higher than we want it to be. So that means very little of what we're producing actually hits the hull of the Armada. And you can see that in the video, right here in the log. 7,000, 8,000 making it to the hull. That's awful. That's not killing this thing in any quick amount of time. However, let's fast forward 20 rounds. Let's get towards the end and see how much that's changing, how much that growth is doing for us. Now, let's keep on scrolling.
2 hours later.
I do appreciate this button being added scopely a great deal. It's still slow, but it's way faster than it used to be. So let's go all the way down here, 20 rounds later. Let's look at the big shot right here. Here we go. 692,021 divided by 1,456,829, 47. So we have dropped mitigation a pretty impressive about 15%. So we're getting a lot more damage going directly to the shields than the hull. Now the shields are down by this point, so you see all of it going to the hull. But a 50% change is a very massive change where you're getting a lot of damage translating to the fight. Now keep in mind that I've only got a tier 1 6 to 10. I'm working on getting mine. My big hang up has been independent credits. That's been a big bottleneck because I got con, I had 5 of 10, so a lot of that. So if you got a better 6 to 10 than me, especially like a tier 3 one, and I'm really jealous of like DJ's maxed, then you're flipping this really, really quickly. So what you find that in PvP, when it comes to overcoming your opponent's defensive stats, it's actually preferable to run generally a mitigation loadout, which is why Marcus, Kang, Charvanek are so strong, is because you're so close to each other, you can fly above those mitigation numbers. You've seen PvP fights where it started at 55% and was down to 20% very quickly because of how quickly that growth and that cumulative growth can increase your penetration ability versus mitigation and turning into a lot more damage created than what you can simply do by adding damage boosters like a Carol. Like I see people put Carol on their ship all the time. I'm like, how about we not and use this instead? And they're like, wow, we can kill way more now. Exactly. In the reverse, raising your mitigation with things like 5 of 10, that's why it's so strong. Because 5 of 10 is way more important than your shields if you can get your mitigation up to that like 71.12, 71.2 max. So it's all about what's in the specific situation that you're fighting in and what officers that you have. And if you need help with those, as always, comment that little box right there. That's what you need to do. Down here, let me know what you have, or preferably on Discord or Facebook, so that I can help you with your loadouts and what's going to be best for you. Because at all times we're trying to make you more efficient, and generally more efficient means more fun, because you're not spending as much time blowing up and you're spending more time being victorious. Kapla! Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, remember, smash the like button. Looks like this. Live long and prosper. Stay safe, other Space Cowboys. We'll catch you on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. There was too much math, but it was still good for you. Deuces! That's me. Peace out. Wow. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah. Woo.